Half a day, everybody. This is a meeting of the Commission on Post-Mortem Examinations. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Today's date is Friday, August 21, and the time is 10:03 a.m. This meeting is being broadcasted live on the AG's office YouTube channel. Roll call. For the record, pursuant to 10 GCA Section 81101, the following are members of the Commission. Myself, as the Chairman, present. Joseph Carbolito, Acting Chief of Guam Police Department.
Yes, I'm here, present. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Jolene Ogden, Interim Administrator of the Guam Memorial Hospital Authority. And if you guys could press the button, it would help for picking up for the audio record. Ms. Teresa Areola, Director of the Public Health and Social Services.
Peter John Camacho, Acting Director, representing Director Areola.
Thank you. And Dr. Samir Abrali.
Present, yeah.
So we have a quorum with 3 voting members present. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Telo Taitagui, our Oversight Chairwoman. We have our Deputy Attorney General of Solicitors Division, Lee Miller, in the audience. To my left, I have Deputy Attorney General Alberto Gayoso, as well as Assistant AG Paul Sermons from the Solicitors Division. We have President Joanna Bamba, the Administrative Assistant to the OCME, as well as Dr. Ricardo Espinola, or I'm sorry, Eusebio. Is he present? Okay, so he did not make it right now. And then Jesse Kenga, the Acting Associate Administrator of Operations of GMHA. Thank you. Joining us via Google Meets are Dr. Jeffrey Nine, Dr. Brett Ferguson, Ms. Christine, and who's the Assistant Administrator of Nursing Services of GMHA. Compliance with open government law. We will now move on to the compliance with the open government law. The meeting agenda and details were published on the Guam Daily Post and the GovGuam Public Notices portal on August 14 and August 19, 2026 in compliance with the open government law. The notice was also published on the AG's office website. This meeting is being broadcasted live on the AG's office YouTube channel. The approval of the minutes is going to be from our September 18, 2024 meeting. A copy of the minutes is on page 12 of your packets. Does the Commission approve the September 18, 2024 meeting minutes subject to correction?
My motion.
Thank you. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Any discussion on that part of the agenda? Okay, so anyone in opposition? So I'll take that as a tentative approval subject to correction. Old or unfinished business. We have no old or unfinished business at this time. So the primary reason why we had to call this is because of the unexpected departure of Dr. Su. The new business, we have 5 agenda items. The first is discussion on the current status and data collection of the OCME, which is on page 21 of the packet. You'll see the report from the OCME. Does anyone have any comment on that? And I do recognize that we did get this packet to you a little bit earlier in the week. So, if you have any comments, we can discuss it at this point. Okay, so if there's no comment on it, we'll just make it as part of our record.
I just have an observation.
Yes, doctor.
On page 26,
the, on section A, number of deaths certified after post-mortem examination,
Yes?
um, it says 147, but the tally does not add up to 147, it's 149. It just needs a correction about that.
Okay, so we'll bring this up to Dr. Su, and Johanna's here. Johanna, please make a note on that to clarify our commission member Ambrali's concern. Doctor, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Ambrali, thank you. Okay. Any other discussion about the report, 2025 annual report? So without any further discussion, let's move on to our next item on the agenda. Now, Dr. Su's resignation is on page 33. I will make a concern on the record that although we were informed that Dr. Su was resigning at the end of the month, that he apparently decided to leave Ireland, and I believe he's in Taiwan right now. That concerns me as the chairman, that I was not part of the approval process that should have dealt with a request for leave. He did not inform me in terms of my approval or not, and it concerns me as the chairman that that is the conduct in which, for the amount of money that is being paid for this particular contract. Joanna, is Dr. Su even coming back to Guam? Again, another concern, and I am reserving decision on whether or not we're going to deny that leave, because I believe that leaving the office empty, that is my understanding right now. Nobody is in the office of the medical examiner. Who approved your leave? Right, so Dr. Su gave notice of August 31, decided to take a 2-week leave. Is it 2 weeks, Joanna? 2-week leave before he resigned, isn't even coming back to Ireland, is hard to communicate with from what I'm understanding in Taiwan, and then gave leave to the only remaining individual in the OCME office. On behalf of the people in the Attorney General's office, this concerns me greatly on the conduct in which this professional has treated that office. So, having said this, Joanna, I'm going to ask that you immediately report to the office and be present. I will consider, and it's not your fault that this is occurring, but it concerns me. And first of all, thank you for the years that you've spent in that office. I know it's been understaffed and that insufficient effort has been made by the medical examiner to reach out and further staff that office from my perspective as the chair. And I'll stand corrected if I'm mistaken, but at the AG's office, when we need people, we recruit and we hire. So the fact that we don't have anybody to assist you concerned me greatly. For the board's information, in the past, ever since I received the resignation notice from Dr. Su, I have discussed with him bringing 5 AG's employees specialized to assist Joanna and the team to Dr. Su. We developed as the chairman, I developed an MOU between the AG's office and the OCME. It was sent to him, I believe, early last week, when he was still on island. He refused to sign it, and that concerns me greatly. He is not an autonomous agency. He is under the commission, this commission's responsibility, and he's a licensed professional that can't play games with the people of Guam and the needs, especially of my prosecutors. I have present my chief prosecutor as well, that daily informs me about the need for medical examiners. So these are the concerns that I'm raising to the commission members. I welcome your input, but I see my role as the chairman to ensure that Joanna receives the help that she needs, who is a dedicated staff of that position. And again, Joanna, if there's any way that you can be able to be physically present in the office, with the assistance, by the way, and I'm going to ask I'll ask one of our board member or commission members to make a motion to allow me to immediately provide staff to Joanna. It's not within her discretion to request it or to approve it, but it is within our ability to staff that office as of right now. So,
Can I say something?
yes, you may.
So we have an MOU with GMH, and they do have one employee that's been assisting me.
Understood. And thank you for that. Who would that person happen to be?
Mr. Ed Camacho.
Is Mr. Camacho currently at the OCME's office?
He's within our vicinity, yes.
Is he at the office?
No, only when he needs to
Who's
be.
answering the phones over there?
Nobody.
That is my point. It is unacceptable for the government of Guam to be paying these type salaries to this Dr. Sue. We're over 300,000. What is the amount? $310,000.
He doesn't get 310.
I'm sorry,
He gets 400.
he gets 400,000? That was the amount that
You
had
guys
to be,
approved it.
right. So
That's the amount that he
$400,000. Right, because when he was initially hired, I believe it was at 350.
350.
Right. So this is the type of service that the people of Guam are receiving, and it shocks me that any licensed medical professional can treat the people of Guam in this manner, let alone this commission. To leave Guam without asking the chairman of this commission, knowing and to approve your leave, to have nobody at the OCME's office. People are dying on Guam that require the services of that OCME's office.
I'm still providing services 24/7.
Where's the report that I should have received in order to inform the other commissioners?
What report?
Was there an email that you sent?
For who?
Who's running the office right now?
I'm still doing it.
You're
on
not
my
in
own.
the office, Ms. Bamba. That's my concern. If you want to step in front of the train that is coming at that office right now, feel free. If you want to be a participant to assist us in helping to get you help while
I've been helping this office for 26
Please don't
years.
interrupt me, Ms. Bamba. I'm well aware of what's been going on as being in here for 4 years. I'm shocked by what happened in the past month.
I had no control over that.
That's what I said to you earlier, isn't it? The responsibility lays with Dr. Sue. I made that very clear to you, ma'am.
That's correct.
My concern right now is who is servicing all the families who are having dead persons. They can't even go to that office and see somebody. They can't call the office. You may be receiving documents, but from what you're saying, nobody's picking up that phone. My office staff is the one that informed me about what's going on over there. So again, this is the commission. We are responsible by the legislature, by the people of Guam to provide services. For $400,000, this is unacceptable.
I don't get 400,000.
I'm not saying you, ma'am. If you want this to be a confrontational
I'm
discussion,
not trying to make it a conversation.
you are, because I said 400,000. Who is getting 400,000? You clarified that Dr.
Sue.
Sue is getting 400,000. So
Correct.
follow my line of discussion, please. Okay? Let's make this productive, Ms.
Sure.
Bamba.
Yes, that's what I want.
How do you respond if I'm asking you on behalf of the commission to come back in and staff that
I
office?
still will go in. That's what a public servant does.
Exactly.
So if my commission is
Thank
telling
you.
me to go back in, I will go in. There's no disagreement
The
on that.
chairman is asking you to
The
please go back
commission-
in today. Please stop interrupting me and let me finish, and I will let you discuss. We're being recorded. Okay? Thank you. When will you be able to staff the office?
Monday.
Thank you. So the chair is open to a motion so that the Attorney General's office provides 5 staff for administrative support, as well as an investigator, in order to assist the OCME's office serve the people of Guam. I am most concerned about the families that have people that are passing away that require the services, let alone my chief prosecutor, who's concerned that we're having deaths, homicides that need to be addressed on Guam. Any moment, we could get another report from the Guam Police Department that a homicide has occurred. We need to have somebody to answer the phones over there. So will any of the commission members make a motion that the Attorney General's office provide at least 5 staff in order to assist Ms. Bamba on performing the duties that she's being paid for?
I motion.
Thank you, Doctor. Is there a second to the
A
motion?
second.
Thank you. Do we have discussion?
I do have discussion.
I do have this. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. This is not the first time that the CMA office has been left without an examiner. It seems to be something that's recurring. I do want to, I do, because it is our profession that this does not, this act that has happened is not something that all medical professionals do, okay? And I want to make that very clear. But there are, Commissioner, some ways that we can actually solve this by using the systems that currently exist. And I'm not sure if the law allows it, but I'd like to make some recommendations.
Please.
For the physician himself or the CME position, that there be some kind of agreement with Guam Memorial Hospital's medical staff office to be the office that hires the physician and also holds the physician accountable to the position. That the chief medical officer of Guam Memorial Hospital is held accountable to ensuring that this physician carries out its responsibilities, and that our medical staff office be the office that helps to provide the relief for that CME. Whether it's bringing in locum tenens that rotate in as CME, but always having a physical presence at the CME office. In the public, it's mistaken that GMH actually oversees the CME office. So we get a lot of calls, but we have no jurisdiction. But I think that to help our island have continuity of an examiner, I think that we should use processes that are already established in our government agency, which would be the Guam Memorial Hospital's medical staff office. And it's something that we extend to the medical professionals in other agencies of this island because it's difficult to bring physicians on to come and live here despite $400,000.
Thank you. I'm very open to it, and luckily we have our oversight chairwoman present to listen to this. I know that the statutes, and that's why I have the attorneys present, we're trying to work within the system, and I would open up the motion to include the assistance, and thank you, Dr. Uggan, for providing that. So would be open to, especially GMHA, providing help to the OCME's office and to Joanna so that we serve our people and give them the services required. Doctor.
Yeah, I have a couple of observations. First is obviously we do not want the office of the CME to go unstaffed. We as physicians always want to have a continuity. It is very disheartening to know that there is nobody to cover the office. So that's my observation. The second thing I would like to know is were there any communications by Dr. Sue in the last, was it 2 years, to request any supplies, more staff, and what did we do about them? And my other concern is we meet only when there is a vacancy in this office. I was wondering if it would be more helpful to meet a little more regularly to assess the performance and see what the needs are so we can continue to support the office and have a little long-term physician present there to ensure that they feel supported and we do not have these vacancies more often.
If I may, Commissioner, in addition to the physician, the CME office is short equipment and supplies, including staff. I would recommend that with your support, that you allow the Guam Memorial Hospital, our procurement, to help support the CME office.
Thank you. And just having served in the legislature and seeing our oversight chairwoman here, this is the type of constructive information and the change in the legislation, let alone the MOUs, that can get us providing the services that are needed, desperately needed now from that office.
This is a big problem for the island, not just for the CME office, but for how even public health has to hire its providers. And maybe this is the beginning of how Guam needs to change, because as much as people complain about the salaries of the physicians we have here, even paying a professional 400,000 is not enough to keep us here. And so how do you use the current systems that actually work, that streamline bringing on medical professionals, or even bringing in supplies and equipment and making it less difficult? You know, why do we have to be an emergency to bring in things that
Absolutely.
have everything to do with healthcare? So I'm hoping that, you know, we can help you and use our systems to help you, which would allow other government agencies to use the same system.
Yes, and thank you for that, Madam Administrator. The doing more with less, and that's not just money, it's the resources. We in the legal profession, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Guam indicated the dwindling number of lawyers. The fact that most of the lawyers in this room, if not all of them, were recruited from off-island, shows that doctors, lawyers, accountants, you know, are people either leaving and not coming back when we educate them. I was on a professional technical scholarship myself, which was designed by UOG and the senators to bring our own people back so that we can help our community and live our lives. So it's a point well taken. So until such time as I get more lawyers and we get more doctors on Guam, the MOU, the ability for good-minded people like yourselves to help where we can. And that's why the MOU was shocking that the good doctor, Dr. Su, said he wasn't going to sign it. I'm going, you have a duty to provide services to our people, my client, our people, and to reject the help of the Attorney General, the chairman. It was shocking. I don't know why he did that, but, and then I hear nobody's answering the phones. That's the basic services a clerk one should be doing, and we don't have that. So there's issues that are going on, and Joanna is well aware of these issues, and she's going to help us in order to provide the services. She's always helped us, especially the last meeting. She's a valuable resource, and I have great respect for her. So our people are going to be providing help. I would ask that the motion be crafted so that GMHA also use whatever the administrator decides would be appropriate to assist. We are not in the best position. GMHA and your professionals, given this medical provision position, would be in the best position. So I'm open to providing whatever services are needed.
Is there anything in the law that prevents us from moving the physician from under your office to GMHA? And the second thing is there anything under the law that prevents us from meeting more often as a commission?
No,
to
they,
assess the
absolutely.
progress?
I can immediately take care of that, and
Yeah.
we can maybe talk about how often you would like to meet. I have my staff here, and we'll just schedule it. My deputy here is going to check that, whether or not the Attorney General has to be the person, I guess, to oversee the how did you put it?
I mean,
For
we
the
talked about
hiring?
recruitment, but I think
Recruitment.
the day-to-day activities will still be, you know, because we work closely with you, but maybe the recruitment and support services should be channeled through
Through
the
us.
GMA through us, yeah.
I actually think,
I agree with that.
and I think that we can do that by resolution, just offhand, because they need help. So anyone at this table, any of the commissioners that wish to participate, I would welcome it.
I just need the budget, Commissioner. Just making sure I put that in there.
Which one? Which one? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And well, I guess the negotiating ability, but as we move on to the recruiting part of this agenda, we have some information that we'd like to share as well. So for this part of the agenda, to provide immediate assistance to Joanna and the Office of the Medical Examiner, what would be the motion? Can we have the author of
The motion would be for the CME office to use the Guam Memorial Hospital Authority's processes in hiring personnel, as well as recruiting the CME, the examiner, the physician, using our medical staff offices and processes.
Thank you. And with the Attorney General's office to assist as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And also to make sure the CME reports to who do they report to? That's a question.
The CME reports to the CMO and the Attorney General. So that physician will still have the AG's office to report to, but I think the day-to-day should be reported to the CMO, the Chief Medical Officer, the Associate Administrator of Medical Services of the Guam Memorial Hospital. I also want to include the procurement of your supplies and equipment for the CME office
And that would be helped through GMHA?
through GMHA.
So on the motion that we have on the record, and we can prepare the record and the resolution when that's done. Any further discussion as amended on the motion on the floor?
I'd just like to echo the sentiments that Dr. Umbrale and Dr. Agun have brought forth. Public health is unfortunately a line agency. And so we are very dependent on external agencies to do things like recruitment, like procurement for us. So having the Chief Medical Examiner's Office have avail of that service would be wonderful.
Thank you. So I take that as a second to the amended motion,
I think Dr. Umbrale seconded.
as a second, to the amended motion as
Yes.
amended. Okay. So unless there's further discussion, may we take a vote? Everybody in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. So we'll have the resolution prepared to that effect. Thank you all. The next on the agenda is the discussion and possible selection of a new chief medical examiner. Okay, so in the packet, since the time that Dr. Su gave his notice of termination of his contract, the AG's office has listed in extensive listings throughout the United States our position that is available on Guam for a chief medical examiner. We have started to receive interests on that basis. One of them being from a close by neighbor, Hawaii. So in the packet, you'll see on page 39, Dr. Brett Ferguson, who I believe is also on Zoom, as well as Dr. Jeffrey Nine, who's indicated an interest in the position as well. Now, as we're considering this, the recruitment phase, definitely the medical professionals, the doctors, are one of the key resources that this commission has, and especially we have two doctors here, to assist us on selecting the best medical examiner on a full-time basis, having the bandwidth for situation we have now. I understand also that Dr. Dowderman is no longer willing to provide services, Joanna?
He's retired. I did reach out to him.
Thank you very much for that. And I did receive an email or something to that effect, information. So Dr. Dowderman, who's not a CMA, but was providing a lot of services for us, is not available now. But we have Dr. Ishikawa, I believe, is still on contract and available for us. Now, in our packet, my team has provided you, I remember Dr. Espinola, bless his soul, 24 years ago when I became the Attorney General, and Dr. Espinola had already been on Guam for a while. I asked the team, what was the relationship that Dr. Espinola had before he retired? I understand that he was actually an unclassified employee of the government of Guam. When I came in 4 years ago, the CMAs have transitioned into contract relationships with the government of Guam. I would throw out there for our commission that we should keep our minds open. Employees are always considered a better value for the people of Guam, the taxpayers. There's a lot of regulation on them and protections for them depending upon how they are hired. We have a situation where we're starting to get interest from different people that are credentialed to take this position. It's not a normal position. I understand there's certain certifications that are required. And we may have a separate discussion on the extent of those certifications, but we deal with what the current statute provides, which at this point, from a layperson, I have no reason to doubt the credentialing that we require as a people, and I will leave it open to the legislature and our doctors to maybe comment on that. Because if we're over-restricting the ability for us to receive applications, then we may have to consider that. Dr. Espinola was Filipino. He came from the Philippines. He retired in the Philippines. We have a great resource, a country of millions of people right off our border, 3 hours away from us. So what I ask the team is, Why can't we recruit in the Philippines and literally have people flying in within 3 hours? I was informed there's credentialing issues. So obviously, and then there's CME issues, but we cannot rule out the fact that maybe there are some Filipinos that have all the credentialing that we need as a community, and then to be open to seeing if they can be certified doctor.
So Senator Titagui actually passed a bill that allows Guam to bring in foreign medical graduates. The GBME, the Guam Medical Board, is actually working on its regulations for this, and the Guam Memorial Hospital has started as well. So the avenue has now been open for foreign medical grads, and that process is being actively paved with the GBME and Guam Memorial Hospital.
And doctor, again, I'm a lawyer and not a doctor here.
But the problem I see with that is, if I remember correctly, these are limited temporary licenses with a supervising physician.
Well, this is only to actually bring in a foreign medical grad. That we can't just bring in a foreign medical grad, but there is a path. Right now, I think that the medical staff office of Guam Memorial Hospital should have the flexibility to try and onboard the physician. You know, and we understand that there are very difficult to fill positions, and that was the whole point of this bill. So those regulations are being developed now, but it's not something that's going to be ready anytime soon. So GMH has works closely with locum tenens where physicians can rotate. And if you give the hospital flexibility not to just have one person, but maybe have several rotating through the hospital, then there's continuity instead of putting it all on one person, you know, always having that relief if they need to take off
That's
because
an
it's one
excellent-
person.
An excellent idea.
Yeah.
This idea, until such time as we can find one, and this will transition to where I would hope that we have a resolution in terms of a commission on giving direction on retaining at this point. I've written that down. As I mentioned, we've got at least 3 applicants that have shown an interest, albeit one is from Hawaii, Dr. Ferguson, and he's very open in the initial conversation I had with him as well. So, Doctor, I'd like to work with the doctors maybe after this commission meeting, if given the authority, in order to assist me as the chairperson to provide options for us as a commission to quickly bring in an effective CME. My perspective is that when I go to trial with my prosecutors, that we can convince the jury and withstand a defense attorney attack on, obviously, the CME's testimony. And I think what the doctors were mentioning here and what it was handed, one of the requirements of our CME is that current certification in forensic pathology by the American Board of Pathology, which again, it kind of, I guess, doesn't limit, but requires that anyone coming from the Philippines would need to have that certification. And I'm not talking about eliminating that, because I think that it might hurt us in trial when we have to prove our case. The defense attorneys will have a field day, so to speak. But at the same time, to work within the parameters, especially to have them licensed. And I know that's can be a feat within the medical profession, getting these doctors licensed on Guam. So having said this, is there further discussion in general about the recruiting? Because I'm going to request a motion be considered.
The GBME is able to grant an emergency license. So I don't think that would be an issue. If you already have candidates, you can hand them over to the medical staff office of Guam Memorial Hospital, and we can help you with the recruitment of that. I will tell you, though, Commissioner, that when we're bringing in physicians, there needs to be flexibility on their salary. When you bring in temporary physicians, we don't just pay the base. We pay a finder's fee per hour that they work. So I don't know if it's about $41 now per hour work that goes back to the company, but we have an emergency need that we need to fulfill. So as long as you're approving our flexibility.
Definitely. You know, it's a cost of doing business to a certain extent, but I don't want to short sell us as officials for protectors of the tax dollars. And the reason why I brought up Dr. Espinola, I wanted to find out what exactly did he retire on his salary. And he was an excellent medical examiner, and I knew him personally as well. His salary, according to the personal action that I have here, was at $207,900. And that was a unclassified employee of the government of Guam, and he won many a case for the AG's office. So I throw that out there, and the discussion that I would like to receive is give a team the ability to vet, to recruit, vet, and then to start the preliminary discussions with these applicants coming in, because I personally I'm a frugal person. I don't like overspending things. And I think that when I left the AG's office, and then the last AG, I guess Levin Camacho may have been there as Dr. Espinola retired, he was still accepting $207,000. So, and I take with deep respect what you just indicated. What will the market bear, and what can we get to Guam? Availability normally drives up prices if it's unavailable and stuff. But with our massive listing that we've just initiated with my team, we're getting the applications in. People are interested in moving from the United States over to Guam. Like, from my perspective with my lawyers, I literally recruit them, do a tour of duty on Guam, commit to me for 12 months, and then, if you like it, let's talk further. That's how I do my current recruiting for attorneys. People like that. It's the, what do they call that? The Peace Corps type of, especially the younger ones. They like that type of, then you've got the empty nesters, the retirees that want to come out to a warmer climate like Florida, Guam, the tropics area type thing. So there's a lot that's going into the recruiting, but I especially like your comment about an agency that can guarantee us that we have doctors, and then after, even if they go back, they'll come back to Guam. My prosecutor, chief prosecutor, literally had to go to the Guam Supreme Court to have an exception to the rule that you must be in court testifying under oath and present. We had to do that for one of the prior medical examiners. It caused us great inconvenience on having to do that. So at this point, I need the commission to consider, after this board meeting, this commission meeting, to give a team of you the ability and flexibility to bring back to us something that we can really consider. Not only as taxpayers, get the best value we can, but get the best quality credentialed person that we can, given all the, and Dr. Su, I understand, was one of the most credentialed medical examiners that we had. But at the same time, you know, we gotta look at the reality, because according to this legislature, apparently we don't have enough money to be paying all our bills. And as the Attorney General, there's bills that we don't even realize yet. There's the Hedron case up there. If that thing ever went through, the people of Guam are looking at hundreds of millions of dollars in unaccounted for or unexpected type of recovery. There's so many bills out there. So whether we think an amount is fair or not, we need to be guardians of the tax dollars.
Absolutely. We actually use the MGMA to guide our salaries, and we put that on a spectrum. All the physicians at Guam Memorial Hospital are on this spectrum, whether they're in the middle, less than the average, or towards the top, we're still on the spectrum.
And in the legal profession, likewise, we have the like you said, the spectrum, or the scale, right, the attorney scale. So now, having kind of brought this up, I would like, do we have a motion that one of the board members, commission members would like to bring to the effect of allowing the chairman to start to vet the applications coming in, and to have other commissioners to be part of that vetting process, so that we could develop possible recruits for purposes of discussion at our next commission meeting. I would also like to mention that Dr. Ishikawa remains available to us. That was our latest update. So if I literally had a homicide today, my first choice would be call up Dr. Su. Get back, please get back and do this autopsy. I don't know if he's going to come back. I'm sorry. He did not give me any indication of what his availability is for the next 2 weeks on a flight from Taiwan, which is 3 hours to Taiwan, something like that. My chief prosecutor doesn't understand what is our relationship, or the chief of police. Do we have a medical examiner or not? We're paying this guy $400,000.
Would Dr. Nine be available to temporarily bridge?
He has indicated an interest, but we have no contract with him. So these are part of the things that I think that would be appropriate for a motion so that we could all discuss after these type of issues, develop some form of proposal that the commission could actually ratify, further discuss. And I will say this right now, as the chief legal officer, none of this 30-day notice and we get to bag out of here. I would propose, and I throw this out for your consideration, give them a 4-year contract. Give them a 6-year contract. And you can't just say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting a higher salary in California in order, and they just beat you guys. So it's better for me financially. I don't know what's going on with Dr. Su, but all of a sudden, he has indicated that Sacramento, was it Sacramento? A jurisdiction in California has offered him a better place to live.
Commissioner, I think it's a little difficult to do that. It is difficult if
Well-
you're not from this island.
I hear you 100%.
Yeah.
And as a co-professional in the legal profession, let's just keep the door open.
Yeah, or you allow it to be a position that is just filled and not trying to secure just one person.
The unclassified, yes. You see, this is why I was not aware that there may be organizations out there that allow for rotating. That would really help if we could
And
hook
it-
up like that.
Yeah, and it can be organized through our medical staff office.
Exactly. That's why I would propose, for purposes of our logistical issue here, that we have a motion, and then have I'll be responsible for getting the names as well as any other commission members. And then we have a structure outside of the commission so that we start vetting, and your consideration. I'm not saying lock down the price or the salary at all.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that you guys are in the profession. You know what's available, what we can get, what the quality of the CME might be, those sorts of considerations. It's all open. It's a contract negotiation. Or if an applicant says, I want to be an employee of the government of Guam and I'm willing to take a certain salary, those sorts of things. We just need a structure in which to proceed from now into the next commission meeting. So,
Chairman, can I suggest something? Can we have a couple of candidates here. Can we talk to them and then reserve the motion till afterwards?
I would like to, if I may.
Yeah.
I think it's premature, because there's other people that have also, there's at least one other, I think, that I was given notice on. I would rather not open it, the floor to people. I've given them the ability to zoom in. Yeah, because but I'll leave it up to the commissioners.
I'm not saying that we make a decision on hiring today, but just, talk to the candidates that are here, and then we have a little more clearer picture of what our short-term coverage could be. And then we kind of talk about because the pressing need is to cover the office today and in the next
See, we
2
don't
days.
have the ability, okay, we would have the ability, if a vote was taken, to hire somebody immediately. But preparing for it, this is what I'm saying, our little research has shown that the price for the CMEs was really at 200, but Dr. Ogden is raising important points. I don't want to prejudice the system or to put any expectations without letting the commission members talk to them outside of the commission.
So I motion for everything that you just said.
Okay, second the motion?
And second,
Okay. I'm going to go with whatever the commission desires. When you go into contract negotiations, you got to be tough. And we are representing not ourselves, but the people of Guam and the senators that have to pay this money. And I will say right now, as the Attorney General, I didn't appreciate that we had to go to the Supreme Court and ask for Zoom authorization versus people getting on the plane and flying out here. Everybody has situations out there. I have to win my cases. We have to keep murderers behind bars. So Dr. Ishikawa, Dr. Ferguson's request, he's available to talk in those respects. I just feel that we may be prejudicing ourselves unnecessarily, but I will go with whatever the commission wishes to do. If you want to open up the floor to possible prospects,
I think that we should, maybe after the meeting, go ahead and look at the candidates that have already submitted interest, and maybe you can do a two-step approach where we bring in someone for the immediate need, and then put this out.
right?
Actually advertise this. Hopefully you'll be able to do this MOU so that we can create a process for you moving forward.
Exactly, and thank you for that. So and this is also for purposes of their contract negotiations, for one to publicly talk about what they're willing to offer versus having the commission have, you know, the two doctors, basically, and whoever else wishes to be present, to vet it on an individual basis, which is normally the process. You don't have them all come in and start saying, hey, I want to work for you. So I'm looking at the integrity of our process, and I'm open to, if you want to recess this till Monday, Tuesday, sometime next week, I work around your guys' schedules.
A question, do we have to have a meeting to make a decision about hiring, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Or we can
So-
give that person the authority, but I think that the openness of this process kind of mandates it. Yeah, I'd rather not structure it so that, and I guess it would be too difficult, because I kid you not, I'm going to hound them on, we want security. I don't want this 30-day notice and then the sky is falling, that Johanna doesn't get her leave, that I've got to mobilize 5 people from my office. GMH is going to be asked to help out now. That is the triage that we put ourselves. I got my chief prosecutor screaming bloody murder that we don't have anybody to come in, and where are we going to find Dr. Sue? We got an autopsy, I think, for the death up north, that motorcyclist. We got the public screaming. The victim's family is making the newspaper. I'm meeting with the chief on this. All this stuff is going on because the autopsies, the medical examiner, what exactly occurred in the autopsy are now up in the air.
Well, are we allowed to, I mean, we have a process that can move on this now. Or is GMH medical staff office allowed to assist the CME office to at least help organize the candidates and give you the scale that we use, the MGMA, so that you can see the salaries
Yes,
that we would normally offer? At least put the package together.
I think that would be excellent.
They can also speak to the physicians
Well-
and see what they're looking for and who can start immediately and whether or not this is going to be something temporary. But I think that what we've learned over these years is that it cannot just be one person. There has to be someone that's constantly also supporting that CME, right? Because if they need to leave for whatever reason, whether it's health, family, you know, they need to have someone who's going to come in and support them.
Exactly.
And we already have on this island processes that exist that are successful. And just leveraging pre-existing processes so that you're not having to reinvent the wheel.
So,
So,
Doctor,
do we have any credentialed medical examiner, currently credentialed and licensed, that we can approach to?
Probably
bridge-
Dr. Nine.
Yeah, I think I saw this. Dr. Nine, I believe, still has his valid license, and I don't know about his credentials because it's been a couple of years, but that's something we could approach just as a short.
Well, we can also do emergency privileging if it's a specific
And-
case through the Guam Memorial Hospital, if it's a patient of the Guam Memorial Hospitals.
And you mentioned Dr. Ishigawa.
yeah, Ishikawa is on an existing continuing contract. So I am understanding that if a homicide occurred today and Dr. Sue, for whatever reason, isn't coming back, that I would be able to call up Hawaii and they would bring in, Dr. Ishikawa would come in. And this is why I wanted to do this outside of the commission meeting, because we have Dr. Ferguson that is also willing to assist in providing a 7-hour, 8-hour delay on getting to Guam in terms of our flight time.
So, so I'm asking if it's possible for our medical staff office to organize this.
I would be in
and
support of that.
and speak to the physicians so that we know what the availability is and whether or not anybody can be on the ground within a few days. Our medical staff office can organize this.
I'm supportive of it. I just want to make sure we do it according to the law. I don't know if there is a bylaws of the commission that needs to be modified to move the purview from your office to the GMHA medical staff.
No, I
office.
think that this is well within the discretion of the commission, and I would actually welcome it.
Yeah, I would welcome the move to,
I motion that.
yeah, let's do that.
So for the purposes of the resolution that we would be considering, the motion that we'd be considering that would be reduced to a written resolution is that, Doctor, you're saying that, what is the exact name of the
Our medical staff office,
GMHA medical staff
Guam
office?
Memorial Hospital, that's right. Medical
Yes.
staff office.
So the medical staff office basically is the central point of all physician communication, hiring, credentialing, follow-ups, all
Contract
contract
negotiations,
all physician-related administrative paperwork goes through
the medical
the medical
staff
staff
office.
office.
So what I was envisioning, and I'll throw this out there, the medical staff office would create basically the packet for the commissioners to be looking at and to be discussing for purposes of preparing a presentation to the next commission board member commission meeting. So, but I would be reluctant to say that they would choose anybody, obviously, right? It would be us that would discuss it.
Yes, we will basically let you know that the conversations have happened. This is what their availability is. This is what they're asking. I think that we need to find a bridge while we work on a longer term solution.
So in that motion, would you entertain medical staff office would do all the background, groundwork, recommendations, and so forth? And then maybe before we come back, that any commission members that wish to participate start talking to the applicant in terms of if they want to contract, if they want to work with the government, work for the government, start breaching salary issues, what is their highest and lowest acceptable?
So
Stuff
that's
like
what
that.
the medical staff office will do. And then we will give a report to the commissioners so that you can decide. They'll do the interviewing and find that out so that you have all the information.
With that being said, I would ask that the motion also consider if any commission members want to be part of it, because I would want to be,
Absolutely.
for purposes of the legal side of it. You know,
Absolutely.
But obviously, nothing gets accepted until the commission reviews it. So I
Absolutely.
would not have any authority to accept it, but I think certain things have to be made known. Obviously, even the chief, for purposes of these people's reports, a big part of what they're doing is going before a jury, and the prosecutors have to be able to use the quality of the evidence. And that's why I say to have a person on Guam where the jurors actually see them as opposed to a computer screen, it's not the same thing.
Right.
So-
The requirement will be for them to be physically present.
Right. So would somebody like to make the reformed motion maybe? I have two elements to it. What I'm understanding is that the Guam Memorial Hospital's medical staff office would be receiving all the applications in our office, would direct them over to your office, that there would be a rating system, the dossiers be put together for each individual, communications be made with the recruit for preparation to the commission as a presentation to the commission. With that any commission member that wishes to be involved in it be allowed to participate, listen, discuss with the recruit for purposes of preparing the packet for the commission. So it's really a two-part type of motion. Is that?
And I would like to just add that this is for the long-term, short-term.
Everything we have right now, because they need someone soon.
So for the short-term as well as the long-term?
Whatever's
Well-
available, maybe?
Okay.
So there's short term and then the long term would be that moving forward that the medical staff office, be basically in charge of handling and ensuring that the CMI office is always staffed. And that CME, that examiner would then answer to the chief medical officer, the associate administrator of medical services for any day-to-day operations, and then also answer to the AG's office.
Right, and I think the first part, or part of what you said is already addressed in our first motion that passed. So this one is talking about the, right, the preparing, but I would ask also in part of the motion that you include,
Everything that the commission does has to be voted on, that's why.
I know, but I'm thinking the other way. We decide the short term as a commission because we potentially have two coverage options for the short term. And in long term, because we still have to kind of start the process of the long-term vetting, credentialing, be handed over to GMHA.
So I think that GMH should just take it over now, both the long and short, but how the short is handled, he's asking that the commissioners also be present when those interviews are happening, so that they can
If they
ensure
wish.
that the requirements are met before they make a decision. And then what the medical staff office's responsibility will be is really to just gather information, ensure that they meet all the regulatory requirements, and then present that to this body.
Okay with that.
No decision will be made.
Right.
It's just basically getting
Presenting the,
information.
presenting the
Absolutely.
candidates. Okay.
Yeah.
and Commissioner Ogden, it's my understanding that you would also include this rotating option that may be out there for us?
Yes, it's to ensure that the CMA office is not left without an examiner.
Thank you, and because I wrote down the, with particularity, the idea that we could rotate, constantly be rotating somebody, and that would deal definitely with the
That's the
short term.
central point of the medical staff office to make sure we have uninterrupted coverage.
Right. I smiled at him because he said he must, it's a special, because it's difficult to fill. And I smiled at him because all of the specialties are very difficult to fill. Therefore, we are all very special, Commissioner.
As are the lawyers. So, okay, on that motion, any further discussion? The motion as amended? May we have a vote? Everybody in favor, please raise your right hands. And that is unanimous. So we have two motions that have now been passed to deal with the emergency situation. I believe our final agenda item is under new business.
Chairman, can I just make an observation?
Yes.
Page 36, is this a current job announcement?
Yes, this is one that we initiated right after we got notice of Dr.
So on page 36, I see Dr. Thomas Shea's name on the top.
On page 36?
Correct.
Okay, President of the Guam Medical Society.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah, maybe that,
we need to amend that.
so should we keep it there? Okay. Yeah. This was the continuous announcement that was back a while back. So we'll update it.
Right.
Thank you for the
No worries.
note there. Okay. So on our next agenda item, new business and any other new business that, nothing, right? Yeah, I'll just reorder it. Thank you. Okay, so unless any of the commission members had anything else to discuss, I'm sorry, Senator, did you have anything that you wanted to say? Being our oversight chairwoman.
Thank you, Attorney General Moylan, and of course, thank you so much for allowing me to sit in and to listen to what's going on, and I'm here to assist where I can. We have a lot of great minds at this table, ones that I've dealt with in the past, and listening to your concerns and your suggestions are greatly appreciated, and I think it's going to give a lot of comfort out to the people of Guam knowing that this board has convened to address these concerns. However, I do have some concerns. I was hoping that the board would actually take into consideration as we move forward. The first question that was asked by the good doctor here was regarding the funding or how much money that was provided. I think, or to you, Dr. Argan, how much was given to the medical examiner when there was issues happening in the past? And it was over a year ago, we had the medical examiner in the office of the speaker, as I set a meeting with the Attorney General, to provide at least $71,000 right away to the medical examiner's office. Now, we have yet to see how much what was done with that $71,000. Then in FY26 budget this year, we incorporated an additional on top of what was requested, $500,000 to the Guam Medical Examiner's office to assist them. Now, I'd like to see a report of where that money was spent and how much balance is left over in that. The intention was to provide some of the concerns, huge concerns actually, from the board, from Chief Medical Examiner, everything from staffing issues, faculty capacity, forensic laboratory capacity, transportation, scene investigation, death certificates and health system problems, commission oversight issues. There was one on the CNMI, NMI arrangement needs to be clarified. You know, these are some of the concerns that were raised. And throwing funding at an agency or a department doesn't always pan out to what you expect, that you're going to solve any problems by more money. It's not. It's obviously that a plan needs to put in place, cover the low-hanging fruit, which is obviously what you've done today, which I greatly appreciate in helping assist Ms. Bamba here with the needs from her office. I mean, I think that I'm surprised she hasn't even left, considering what she's had to work with for this last year, being the only sole person there. So I'm glad to see that we're going to put somebody there. But if, like every agency, here's a commission that oversees a department in the government of Guam. But usually when you have that and oversee make recommendations, policy, advise with policy, hiring, I think that we need to incorporate in the Office of Medical Examiner a director that is there constant, somebody, not just an administrative assistant. You need somebody to run it. Like, for instance, Gita, there's always somebody,
And
a
you know,
president.
Senator,
Yeah.
I can tell you that the CME, especially for the 400,000 or whatever, you need to be
We
you
gave
need to be those
1.3
things.
million. Actually, it was a total of 1.3 million
Right.
given to this
This
department.
person that we're hiring, and that's the normal practice with the CME offices, they're responsible for the administrative function, issuing these reports, doing the autopsies and so forth. So,
Well, maybe we can look at, with all due respect, maybe we can look at having someone there
a
constant,
st- a
regardless
staff,
of what
an administrator
doctor-
or supervisor, 'cause you see, what it should have happened 4 years ago, or when Dr. Su took over, they should have recruited these people. Joanna's doing way too much for this. So this is what the CME was informed about. We let him know that, and we did not get, you hire a supervisor under the CME, and that apparently didn't happen. So, yeah. Well
okay.
taken.
Well,
I just don't
hope-
like the bureaucracy
yeah.
of creating, like, giving
Right.
a director, and again, you're the senator, I'm not.
Sure.
But I mean, functionally speaking, my understanding of the CME office is, when that CME comes in, they run everything. They may have a number 2 head under that person, like a supervisor, administrator, whatever they choose to call the person.
So let me read to you on section 81101, the Commission on Post-Mortem Examination. A commission on post-mortem examination is hereby established. The members of the commission shall be the Attorney General, the Chief of Police, Director of Department of Public Health and Social Services, the President of the Guam Medical Society, and Administrator of the Guam Memorial Hospital. The commission shall elect one of its members as chairperson, and vice chair members of the commission shall receive no compensation, but they shall be repaid their actual expenses incurred service of the commission. The commission shall meet as often as the duties required upon call of the chief medical examiner. Now, this is the makeup of this forum here. And it doesn't say anything that this position as the chairperson will be moved from one member to another. You know, it stays, I guess it's been staying stagnant with the Attorney General's office. And if you look at other areas in other jurisdictions, the only place that the Attorney General's office who houses the Chief Medical Examiner's office is New Hampshire, while all other states and jurisdictions have different areas in which to put them. But one thing that stays constant is a director. Now, this director then reports to the commission on the issues that come about. Now, if we don't have someone that I know what you're saying about bureaucracy and stuff like that, but it's the commission that appoints a director to this agency.
Oh,
Then we have that one,
I'm sorry. I was just thinking the DOE. Don't know.
okay. So
There's a problem
not,
with.
not everything works
gotta be
as
careful
you
about
plan,
that.
but you definitely got to try. You know, it's a program that works more so than less, you know, in areas that trying to find some stability. And what this office has not given in the last, since 2022, has given any kind of stability. I think it was 2019 when he left the good
Dr.
doctor.
Espinola.
It's from 2018, 19, around that time. And there's never been any stability in that. And I think
And that's
this
why that-
commission may consider, if I may, and if we have to do it through legislation, create a position that has that stability, that can report to the commission all the issues and concerns, but the commission still has the control over the office, don't get me wrong. So that's just some of my recommendation. My other also recommendation is that we look at considering placing this commission under, well, no, I guess you can stay on that. That's a deeper conversation. But I look forward to you considering that part, that
Structure.
stability that's needed. The other one is like I mentioned on the 500. Okay, well, other than that, my next plan was to hold an oversight hearing at the legislature so the people of Guam can see what's going on. But I think it would be in the best interest of everyone that we move forward with your plans before I call an oversight, because what we want are answers. And you're going to need that time with all the motions that you put into play right now. I'd like to see that work out first. And that so when you come in front of us, that you have a solid plan that's already in the making. So.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, Senator Talotaitagui, Attorney General. I completely agree with that. I think that having a director who's the liaison between the AG's office and the CME office, who works for the CME office, that continuity leadership to help organize, who has maybe even experience running offices.
So who would the
It would fall
CME
under you.
Well, I mean, the CME, you'd have two chiefs in the CME office, right?
Well, you'll have the physician, but you have this is more of an administrative person, not not just an administrative person that has oversight over the CME office that also answers to the AGs.
And us.
Yeah.
As a commission. So I'm all for efficiencies, and if it makes it work, and especially when the CMEs are coming and going, to have the continuity, so the AG doesn't have to get involved and transfer employees down there. Yeah, I hear you. And Joanna would be helped out because it's procurement. All these things you got to be part of the government to understand. There's recruiting, classified, unclassified service. Then you've got the procurement, and that's why with GMH's help, and that's why the structure. The conversation may even be, should this office go under GMHA to some extent?
If I may, because funding has always been a concern. So whatever funding that the legislature provides for this office, it would go under, the director would have that privy on how it would be spent, whether the funding would go to GMH to cover the salaries of those GMH employees. That eliminates the cost on your end, because we can cover the salary, or that office or the office can cover the salaries. to assist. But I think that's why it's even more important to have that director in, to have the authority to do that, but which is given by this commission first, you know. You
It
have
would be similar to how the legislature already appropriates funding for DOC, where you give it to us directly and we carry out the service for that organization.
Suggesting all the funding go through GMHA?
No, just an allocated funding for a specific area that we're responsible for.
So it would mean, Doctor, that the funding that we give will go to the office itself. And then from there, the control of this funding will be, of course, by this commission. And if this commission so wills the funding to give to GMH to pay for salaries, then the director, or I'm sorry, disappointing because she's the only one there, I'm sorry. The person running the office then has the authority to move that money. So they will have that ability.
The only concern I have is the movement and ensuring that it actually happens. And I just say that because we do help other agencies, and sometimes they have other priorities, and so we become not as big of a priority.
We can do that through legislation. Actually, legislation would stop the tying of hands, or, you know, I'm sorry, Mr. Attorney General, I don't know how you were able to get this office keep running with all the people holding funding from you, appropriations that were going to your office. And that's what we do not want to see happen, especially with this particular office itself. And then, you know, you've been doing a great job trying to work with that. But we would include that in legislation to ensure that funding is not held up.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. So, Commissioners, I had proposed originally that instead of adjourning this, that we recess it. We'll provide all the notices required for the recess. If you agreed, did you have a particular date that you'd want to reconvene under a recess?
I prefer a Monday or a Friday.
I prefer a Friday.
Okay, afternoon.
Yes.
Friday afternoon. Thank you.
I agree.
So is that okay with a Friday afternoon? Okay, after lunch, Friday afternoon. And then, Peter John, did you have any concerns in terms of timing? Okay, so I think we have to identify the date and time right now. August 28th? Dr. Ogden, would that give you sufficient time to work with your team over there to start the vetting process?
Yes.
Excellent.
If I get the information today, we will get it ready. We could probably have it ready before Friday.
Thank you.
And I can work with Dr. Agan and the medical staff office.
Thank you very much, Doctor. So, Friday, August 28th at two o'clock. So is that okay for everybody? We'll do it on August 28th at 2 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So at that, we shall recess the commission meeting at 11:16 a.m. Thank you.